When I first started to learn how to drive, I was completely terrified. I was controlling this massive machine, capable of causing harm to others, capable of causing damage, capable of killing lives. So, the anxiety that new drivers feel is fully justified. So, how did I go from a worried, inexperienced learner to a capable, confident driver? It all started with a good teacher. My driving instructor was a legendary character. He was a really good listener, he gave good, clear instructions, and he set up the lessons so efficiently that I learned very quickly. In a lot of our lessons, I talked to him about my business idea of teaching maths and problem solving skills. And it got me thinking about how I could transfer his skills as mine. Patience, adaptability, and strong communication. I continued to learn and improve over time until we reached a problem. Many young people will know this in the UK, but it is diabolically hard to get a driving test. I live in Reading and I tried for months, waking up every day to try and get one, and I couldn't get a driving test. The problem is people use bots in order to get all the tests and then sell them off for really high prices. So I was stuck. I was ready to do a driving test, but it was impossible for me to get one. It's difficult when you encounter a problem in your life that you feel is out of your control, that's someone else's fault. It makes you want to just give up entirely. But I thought about it and realised that it's the exact same thing with driving. When you're on the roads, there are many lunatics creating problems for you. And what are you going to do in the car? Are you just going to give up when you encounter a problem? No, you're going to solve that problem. You're going to find a solution. Being a good driver is all about solving problems, looking for potential hazards and finding solutions. Learning to drive hasn't just made me a better driver, obviously, but it's made me a better problem solver. So I wasn't just going to give up at the final hurdle. This is a problem like many that I've conquered before. And I was going to do the same now, with nothing to stop me. So I looked online and I found a test, but it was 3 hours away from me, in another city, an area that I had never been to in my life. But that didn't faze me. This was my one opportunity, and I had to take it. The test date came around, and me and my instructor from the early morning set off, and I drove for 3 hours on roads that I had never been on before, and I drove quite flawlessly all the way to the test centre. Finally, we arrived, and we sat in the waiting room. I looked around me, and there were a lot of young people looking nervous, visibly fidgeting in their chairs, stressed. I thought I would feel the same. I mean, if I failed this, I'd have to go 3 hours all the way back home. I may never even get a test again. This was my only opportunity, but I felt calm. I felt relaxed. I had done so much preparation, so many hours on unknown roads, that it would be unreasonable for me to fail this. And despite not knowing for sure, I felt like I knew I would pass. My name gets called out. It's time for the test. I go to the driver's seat with my examiner, and confidence floods me. I'm a great problem solver. I'm ready for this. 40 minutes of driving later, and we arrive back at the test centre. My examiner turns to me, pauses, and says, "Congratulations, you've passed." And a weird thing kind of happened to me. I thought I was going to be really happy, ecstatic, full of joy at this news. But I didn't feel that. I just felt relieved. I think it's because I wasn't surprised. I had done so many hours, so much work, that success was pretty much guaranteed. My instructor comes over, congratulates me, and we drive back home. On the way back, I kind of realised that this is the last time I'm going to see my instructor again. This man who taught me all I know about driving. The person who helped me on my journey, the person who helped me get my driving license, and the person who made me a better problem solver. I'm grateful, and though passing my test didn't make me happy, what did make me happy was realising the growth that I had made thanks to a great teacher. We get back home and we take a few photos with my certificate against the car. And just like that, that chapter of my life draws to a close. And I think I'm ready for the next one.